She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her.
Hey you guys, so I got a lot to say. I did want to let you know that I was reading, because I don't get to talk about books. Like, I do read books, I do that, I don't just buy them. And I've been reading the Mistborn trilogy. Mistborn. I love this book so much. 5 out of 5, hands down, no questions asked. I will defend this book to the bitter end. The only negative feedback that I hear about Mistborn is that the references to the magic system, but it's a very unique magic system, so I appreciated the references because I needed to know that. So if you have a problem with things being reiterated to you, then yeah, you might have a problem with them mentioning the magic system because, well, they use it all the time, but whatever. Love Mistborn. If you don't know, this is pretty much a heist book. It's really the story of this Dark Lord named the Lord Ruler, and how he's like enslaved like a whole like technically race of people, and how this essentially almost this thief slash kind of vigilante makes the decision to like free people of the Lord Ruler altogether, and he gets his band of merry men with including a young girl who seems to have very special abilities. And beyond training her in her special abilities, he also takes her essentially off the streets and makes her into an undercover noblewoman. And when I tell you, it's so good. Like, the fight scenes are epic. Like, the creatures, the beings, the people, like everything about this is just so rich, full of culture. You can't tell me this place doesn't exist. It's so well done. I love it. Takes me right out of this world. And the ending had me like, what? So I give this a 5 out of 5. If you like high fantasy, if you like heists, if you want something that's completely different than, you know, your typical like definitely your YA fantasies and things like that, I would say definitely go ahead and get Mistborn. Now, again, this is an adult fantasy. This book is close to 700 pages, but it was so easy for me to read, and I had such a good time, and it's just so good. Now, Well of Ascension, right? And like when I say currently reading, like I stopped to turn my camera on at this part that has me hot. Just hot. So far, the Well of Ascension takes place, I want to say maybe a year or two after the events of book 1. And it's a mess. It's a hot mess. Emotional, spiritual, outright violent mess, you know what I'm saying? And so if you say the first book is a heist book, the second book is definitely just so Game of Thronesy. Like, it's just so Game of Thronesy. So if you like Game of Thrones, I would say go for this book. It has a lot more political intrigue, not nearly as much brutal death and action as you got from the first book, but that doesn't bother me because the events of this book is just very intriguing to me, and I'm like dying to know, like, okay, what are we gonna do about this? Like, what are we gonna do about this? And then there's like this looming horrible thing happening in the background of this book that you're just like, so nobody's gonna address this, so we're just gonna let one person be like asking questions and be like, oh no, don't think about that. No, we didn't think about that. Like, this is a problem. So yes, I am loving the Well of Ascension so far. I'm at this part in the book, and it's not a spoiler. But pretty much this character goes out of his way to like show his hand like it's a full house. Like, he went checkmate on everybody. And I'm sitting here thinking, no, you did it. No, you did it, sir. You're so disrespectful. You're just disrespectful. I'm like, so like heated right now because like the characters got a lot going on. The main characters have a lot going on. They got a lot on their plate. They're trying to be diplomatic. They're trying to be respectful. And one guy decides like, I'm gonna F it all up. Thank you. And you're like, kill him. You know what I'm saying? The people, my only complaint is some of these characters are too good. Like there's even the characters that's just referred to. He's a good man. Like, and he is. He really is. I love him to death. But like, sometimes I think they're too good in this book. Like, I'm like, you know, we can fix up this whole situation with a couple of assassinations. Let's just little kill, but they're just like, no, that's not the way. Oh, this book is so frustrating, but it's just so good. There's a character in here who's like been through like this whole traumatic situation, which you will never know until someone actually brings it up, because they hold themselves with just so much class and dignity, and they just know so much. And so they just rip into people, or they're nice. It really just depends on who they're working with. But I'm like, this character is just so damn sassy. It just cracks me up every time they come on the scene. Like, what are you doing? Shoulders up, chin up. Like, I feel like I am getting trained in some way. The way this character be giving like real stuff. I was at one point, I was like, Brandon Sanderson, what do you know about XYZ topic? Like, you got me thinking I gotta get it together. But yes, loving Well of Ascension. I'm hoping to finish this in the next couple of days. I promise I will get back on here and have this conversation about how I felt about Well of Ascension. And then once we finish Well of Ascension, then we're going to kick it off with the Hero of Ages. So, and this will be the last book. Well, last book of Mistborn Era 1, right? So I just discovered this whole thing called the Cosmerian universe. I didn't even know it existed. And a friend of mine had me like so hyped on it that I was just like, what? And what? And so that's why I decided to pick up Mistborn. And guess what? It's a good ride. It is a good ride. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to just go, after I finish Mistborn Era 1, should I go to Elantris or should I go to Warbreaker? Because either way, I'm thinking I want to get those two books done. I'm probably going to go to Warbreaker now that I think about it. Because I already have The Way of Kings waiting on me. I don't think I can hold off anymore on Elantris. I don't think I can hold off anymore on I mean, we'll see. If I can somehow way get if I can get Well of Ascension and the Heroes of Ages read this week, and if I can get through Warbreaker, and I have enough time to get in Elantris, then I will hold off. I can hold off and get to The Way of Kings. If I can't, then I probably gonna do Warbreaker next. No. Okay, so I've seen like a variety of different people talking about how you can read the Cosmerian universe. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and do Era 1. And I think I'm going to go straight to A Way of Kings. Because I think I'm going to do Era 1. Yeah, I think I'm going to do Era 1 Mistborn. Then I think I'm going to go ahead and do Elantris. And then I think that I am going to do The Way of Kings. And then after I do The Way of Kings, then I'm going to do Warbreaker. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm hoping that people are talking about how you see like a lot of tie-ins and stuff like that. I'm hoping to see it. If not, then I'll be looking into it. But so far, regardless if I see tie-ins or not, I'm really loving the writing. I'm really loving how everything is. I love the magic system and the turn of events that are happening in just Mistborn alone. And I know Mistborn is some of his top tier stuff. So, and I hear Elantris is like not that great. So I'm a little bit like, oh. But we'll see. I could have a different opinion, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't take everybody's word for it. But I am looking forward to hitting up Elantris, and definitely looking forward to doing Warbreaker, which, like I said, I'm going to hold off till after Way of Kings because that tie-in can wait, apparently. I think if I did my research right. But anyway, you guys, I just had to get my thoughts so far on like Mistborn and what I'm doing right now, as well as me being well of ascension about halfway through this book. Like, why? Why don't we just kill these characters off? Some people deserve to die. Like, I'm not trying to be that person, but you know what I'm saying? In a book. But either way, you guys, it's so good seeing y'all. Okay, I'll talk to y'all later. Later, okay. Bye.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. She's a Mona Lisa.